guys, I want to do a channeled message from your person today. Advancement, recognition, the Six of Wands. It's coming out in reverse. You have the Star, harmony and renewal. The Nine of Cups, contentment and satisfaction. Harmony, renewal, contentment and satisfaction. But then you have advancement, recognition in reverse. Contentment and satisfaction, though. Feel like somebody could be happier than the other right now, or you could be a bit like bipolar right now in between moods. Then you have the Ten of Cups and the Five of Swords. The Ten of Cups is abundance and attainment, and the Five of Swords is resentment and competition. So you could either be switching between two moods here, where when you are in a balanced state of mind, there is sort of like a reverse mechanism you do it yourself, where you're almost like fighting yourself or self-sabotaging, where you have Five of Swords come out with that resentment and competition. Also with the advancement, recognition coming out in reverse with the Six of Wands. This could also be related to your ego or somebody else's ego in this situation. If somebody else does not want to see you advance or move forward, they can definitely be like putting in some sort of energy that you feel it. You feel this resentment, you feel this source of like competition coming into your energy. But you have the Star here, you have harmony and renewal, and then you have the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Cups. So you have really good cards here. It feels like on one end, because like this end with the Five of Swords and the Six of Wands, there's issues here. But then on this end, it feels like there's more justice to a situation. So it's also making me think that maybe someone here is getting justice for a situation in the past that didn't go well. And there's somebody on the opposing end who feels like, a special way about this. I'm trying to pause it. So the cards that you have here in the hidden position, you had one more. Oh, was it these two? I don't know if it was these two. But you have these two that are hidden face down. So I'm taking this as part of the situation that you are not aware of, or the parts of this like storyline or this dynamic here that isn't fully available to be processed, or like isn't like fully accessible information. So you have the Judgment coming out, revelation and awakening, and then you have the King of Cups, integrity and stability. For some reason, like I never usually recognize like when there are king cards out or knight cards out or specific cards out like that, but you do have like a king. For some reason, I'm like feeling drawn to say that, like you have a king card here. You have a king here. The King of Cups specifically has like a masculine energy who has two cups. It seems like one cup, he's kind of like pointing that he's like almost selecting, but without really voicing anything. It's like a silent selection, right? And then I'm only making this finger motion because this is like, he's making a finger motion similar to that. And he's pointing to the back of his cup. So that's why I'm like mimicking what he's doing. But there's another cup that's kind of being like ignored. It's off to the side. It looks similar, and there doesn't seem to be much differences between the cup that he selected and the one that he didn't. So the Judgment too coming out with the King of Cups makes me feel like this is a separate energy, or this could be if you are feeling like you're in a masculine energy who had to make a very tough choice. Masculine energy is not just a male energy. This could have just been putting yourself in a position where you had to take total control over a situation, and you could have felt like it had affected people, especially in the negative context. Like maybe a certain decision that you made a certain masculine energy feel a certain way, or perhaps it made you feel like a certain way about things. You could also have a neck tattoo, or a neck tattoo can be significant. I'm also like thinking about Jake Weber for some reason. So I know he has like a bunch of tattoos, so that could be something significant here, but just seeing like a neck tattoo. In that, like, this does feel like a period or like a place that maybe is misunderstood by you or by the person who feels like they're in this part of their journey where they're feeling kind of like, really what I'm feeling here is that you made a selection, or you made a decision to choose something over someone else, or maybe you put someone in a position to have to make a tough decision like that. If this is you who made that tough choice, who kind of like came to some sort of conclusion here that you were gonna go with one end of the spectrum instead of the other, whatever this is, I want to find out a little bit more information about what it is. I also didn't realize, I think there was one that was flipped over. I flipped it over before I started the recording again. It was the Tower. Disruption and conflict, which you had competition and resentment coming out in the Five of Swords. So I do feel like you have, this could be something that's unrelated to your path now. I feel like this was something that you had decided to make a specific choice for. In the past, I feel like you've already kind of come full circle to being okay with whatever decision it was that you've made. But I feel like there's somebody on this opposing end who isn't as content. Because wasn't that one of the cards that you got out as well was about contentment? Yeah, contentment and satisfaction. I do feel like there's somebody in your energy who is not as content with the decision that you or them have made. And perhaps you have come so far along to being okay with whatever this decision was, or if you made this choice here, you've become okay with that. And on this end, you have the Four of Swords and the Hierophant, which I kept these over here because I was like, I don't know if these were apart, but they're falling on this end of my table, which is kind of like what I feel like is your energy, or the energy that feels okay with this situation. So I really need you to take discernment on that. If you feel like you're healing, then you're probably on like this end of the explanations. If you feel like there's conflict, you're probably over here. So as for this side is like, this person's okay with whatever happened. There is solitude and healing, spirituality and knowledge. So this could have helped you with the spiritual awakening, or this could be something that just helps you gain closer ties with your guides, or with your own like spirituality. There's also a female on this card, which I'm going to take too as something here that resonates, because you have no other cards that have masculine or feminine besides the king here. And that's falling on this side of the table. So it does feel like there's more of a masculine energy here and a feminine energy falling over here. But whoever's falling into that more feminine energy is definitely guiding themselves a little bit better than the person that is in this King of Cups energy. There is a lot more of imbalance here, and the King of Cups is trying to find some sort of integrity, or whatever choice that had been made in the past. It did cause some sort of like I'm seeing like a bubble burst, like, so you like it caused some sort of like I'm just I'm not sure what it caused. I'm gonna see what this was, what exactly decision was made here, and why. I can't like speak that well today. So you have the Spirit of Cups, opportunity and creativity coming out in reverse. Tell me more about this opportunity. That it's like a burst of someone's bubble. You like bursted someone's bubble. Topaz and amethyst. You could have Pisces in your. Does topaz belong to a birthstone? I don't remember. The stone has an incredible amount of energy and can direct it with pinpoint accuracy. It sheds light on your life path and lets you clearly see the mistakes in how you achieve your goals. It brings about self-trust and abundance or confidence. Everything in your life looks clearer with the stone. Also known as the Guardian Stone, it's a very powerful protector. Any kind of negative energy directed towards you is blocked by this ancient stone. Used when meditating, amethyst can bring calmness to the mind and help with decision making. Both stones are about making some sort of like, or making a decision, or you made a decision in the past and you feel like you made some sort of mistake. This is about mistakes. This is about